All right, what up, y'all? So I just made a video and I deleted that joint. Because I'm gonna just keep it real, I'm making this video on my iPhone because my camera is charging right now, and I wanted to tell y'all a story. Then I'm gonna tell y'all a story about me telling y'all a story. So I did the video, I was making a story, and all of a sudden I watched the video on playback on my iPad. Thank God I did see it on my iPad, because y'all know when y'all are filming or y'all got small screens, the fact that yeah, you don't see everything up close in person. So, you know what I mean? Like, you don't see everything on a small size. You need something on a bigger frame, a bigger size screen. And when I looked at the footage from the recording, I had some stuff in my teeth because I just got through eating some cashews and some mixed nuts and stuff. And I just didn't like that. It wasn't a good look. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know what I can do in post to fix this up. But basically, I was making a video to share with you all a quick experience, a quick story about basically when you are looking to get into video photography, streaming, anything to do with like a video production, right? You need a camera. And you're thinking about going into the direction of a DSLR or a mirrorless camera. You don't want to just use your iPhone anymore, or your Samsung phone, or whatever phone you're using. You want to use a dedicated camera. That's what I have done recently, because I missed having that flexibility, right? Well, I had an issue when I decided I wanted to do some outdoor photography and video, and just kind of put my camera to the paces and do some point and shooting on the go, because that's what I'm used to. That's where I came from. That's my background, or a big part of my background is photography and just being out on the go, whether it was for school photography, weddings, some type of event or something like that. I've done those. I've done a lot of them. And you have to be quick on your feet when you are doing that kind of photography, right? Not just studio. I've done studio photography as well. But what I like about being out on the go and doing scenic stuff and just getting nature is because it really allows you to test your camera, try different settings, and get used to shooting in more manual mode without so much pressure. And that's something that I had to get back my skill set back in, was shooting in manual, because that's the best way to shoot, is in manual mode. You have way more flexibility, and it just creates a better, how I say, camera woman muscle. Like, it creates a better muscle for somebody using a camera, right? And so I decided to come here to this park, this national park, but I forgot something that I needed, or I thought I needed, in order to complete my workflow of being able to transfer my files, right? Transfer my files from my camera to my iPad, so that way I can view stuff on my iPad. I thought that, to me, that was an ideal workflow. I was like, can I do this? And I like to come up with a theory and then test it out. Well, lo and behold, it's beautiful. It works. It works so well. It works even better when you are using some type of stylus. So that's why I got the Apple Pencil. And I got it for free. I'll tell y'all that story later, but I got the Apple Pencil for free by Apple, by the way. They sent me it for free, and not because there was a special going on either. But I wanted to have a workflow where I could be out on the go, be mobile, carry some type of mobile, we'll say charger, some sort of mobile charger. All I need is my camera, my iPad, and whatever else accessories I want to bring. But pretty much I can bring those things, and I'm good. Like, I'm shooting the professional quality way that I want to shoot. And that's something that I love about getting this camera, this A6700 camera by Sony, was because from all the reviews and videos that I saw, it was the most to have the most versatility, being very recent. And I'm getting bit up right now, but being really recent, it had the most versatility. And I wanted to go from being able to use a camera as a webcam, a camera as a photography camera, and a camera as a video camera, and do it in a seamless way where none of the ball was dropped in between these different changes, right, of needs. And so that's what I did. I got this camera because of that, and I got tired of using my iPhone camera as a dedicated camera. So when I got here, I forgot the most important thing that most people know, especially if you're an Apple user, that you need to bring in order to hook up a card to your device, right? In order to get the files off your camera, you need some type of dongle to put the card reader in. Well, I forgot that, and I didn't want to go all the way back home, so I was going to be like, you know what, my iPad is useless. I can't use it in this situation, whatever the case is. However, I said, let me test something out here, because I did bring a iPad charging cord, iPad charging cord. I brought that, this one cord, braided cord, right? I brought that, and I brought a MagSafe charger by Anchor. It's a MagSafe. It's a 633. Basically, it's a portable charger type thing. It has USB-C, USB-A on it. I'm actually using it right now to charge the phone. The phone is actually on it, so it also, you can charge wireless. You can charge things wireless. You can charge things at two things at the same time. It has a USB-C and a USB-A port on this. But here's the crazy part, y'all. When I got here, I had a second problem that I did not know about, and I didn't remember, and I'm usually careful of this, but I use a dummy battery when I'm using this as a webcam. So I'm not using the battery that came with the camera. I'm using it as a dummy battery. And the battery was on 19% when I got here. So I said, let me try something out. I wonder if I can charge this camera via USB-C, because it has the USB-C for the webcam, but it also has USB-C for charging. But normally, you can use a brick. It comes with a brick. Well, I said, you know what? Actually, it didn't come with anything. It didn't come with any brick. That's one of the other complaints about this camera. That it's one of the small complaints. It doesn't come with anything except for the camera, and that's pretty much it. But I plugged the USB-C cable right into the camera, and right now it is charging the camera smooth too, smooth and fast, while charging the phone at the same time. So I didn't have to stop my workflow from just having a camera standpoint, but having the iPad included in the workflow, I was able to connect the charger cord to the camera and the iPad, because the iPad has USB-C. The iPad is the 10th generation iPad. It's not a fancy iPad. It's just one of the first ones with USB-C. However, it worked. I opened up the Files app on the iPad, and then the camera, when I plugged in the USB-C, it went to a menu. It automatically popped up and said, hey, well, what do you want to do with this USB-C connection? And I connected it as one of the options to add it as a kind of a story, a reader, basically, to connect it to the iPad so the iPad can read it. Lo and behold, it worked. I opened up the iPad, and my photography, my photos that would be in the photography folder, they were in that folder. The videos that go in the clip folder for Sony, they're in that folder. Everything was there, 4K, high resolution on the iPad, through me just connecting a USB-C cable from my camera to my iPad, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. So the iPad is basically a computer now. Especially the fact that I'm rocking with iPad OS 26, and I put the the beta version from the developer program. I put it on there to test it out, and it works. It works so well, so well. It makes this iPad seriously pretty much 80% of my, well, I'll say 70%, because I do a lot of creative stuff and hardcore stuff in terms of like my workflow per se. I don't do any like coding. I don't do that kind of stuff now. I ain't doing that. And I'm only editing simple videos. I'm shooting videos in high resolution, high frame rates. Well, not high frame rates, but high resolution. But I'm editing simple stuff. I let the big stuff go for the folks that know what they're doing, like that, right? But I do a lot. How do I say, horizontally. And I go deep on a few things, and I let other people do everything else that I can't go deep on. I let them take care of that. I just like to give them the ideas and say, hey, this is how far I got, or this is the idea I came up with. What can you do with that, right? And it works. For me, that works so much better to eliminate a lot of margin for errors when people don't understand what you're talking about. Well, show them, do the best you can. Show them, then you got to be willing to let it go. That's another story. Either way, the whole point is that I got here to this place thinking that my camera was getting ready to be dead because it was on 19%, and I couldn't even transfer files from the camera to the iPad. And both those issues were solved with one cable. Obviously, having a charging, a little charging station or charging device was helpful, but I solved it with one cable, two different devices that do two different things, one cable, and it worked. And remember, not all cables are created equally. Not all ports are created equally. So that's something I just wanted to share with y'all. Hopefully this video turned out better than the last one. And you'll see the results of my trip. I'll share that next.